Hello friends, my name is Manoj Kumar from Corp IT. Today in this video we'll discuss about what are the Kubernetes namespace. So you can think of it, namespace is like a logical abstraction in your Kubernetes cluster that segregate like which resources you can use. So let understand this with an example. Let's suppose you have a marketing team and sales team, and a marketing team required a certain tooling and they want only a certain set of resources. So what you can do, you can just create a namespace with the marketing so that marketing people with their RBAC credential can use the namespace with the marketing and scenes with the sales team. So that's what the namespace is and why like the Kubernetes namespace. What is the benefit of that? So it's organized resource management. You can also define what are the resources that a particular team will require. You can also set the limit. It will prevent naming conflict. At least let's suppose you are the marketing and you can name it in a way, then it will be easy for you. Okay, this is my namespace, there I have to create it. And using the RBAC rule you can also define, okay, this namespace can be accessed by only these user, not by the any some other user. It can provide the access control and the resource quota. So resource quota is kind of a good, like you can define a set of resources that a particular team can do or a particular namespace can do. Now what are the default namespaces in the Kubernetes? The first one is default, then kube system, kube public, kube node release. So let's see each one by one. What are the default? If there's no namespace is selected, then you can the pod that you will create, it will go for the default one. Kube system contain an internal Kubernetes component like scheduler and controller management. Kube public readable all user, public user for public cluster information. Kube node lease manage node heartbeat, lease for cluster health monitoring. Now what are some best practice for managing namespace? Use separate namespace for environment. Avoid over naming fragmentation, like you just create multiple namespace. You need not to do that. Just think, okay, this cluster, what is the resource, what is the capability of that, and based upon that you can assign a cluster to a particular team, and if it required you can do a further fragmentation with the namespace to align the team. You can have a clear naming convention in your organization. You can also do that. That will also make you understand, okay, for this project um, we have this naming convention. Let's suppose you have a project and you getting some uh, a project, so you can do that. Let's suppose you're starting with an organization name XYZ, your organization name, then your team name, let's suppose ABC, and let's suppose a project you can name it 01. So that kind of a clear naming convention that follow in your organization. Now you can implement the RBAC that I've already discussed, and monitoring and auditing can be also done from there. So if you want to have a more info about this, I already wrote a detailed article on my blog, so you can definitely check this out. I will make sure I add this in the description. Now let's just see in the action, okay, how exactly it is. So first thing first, how to list the namespace. kubectl get namespaces. So you can see these are the current namespaces that we have. Let's suppose if you want to describe a namespace, how we can do that. Describe namespaces, and let's suppose just describe default. And let's suppose if you want to um, view what is your current namespace, then how you can do that. kubectl config, I have that command somewhere over here, get context. So if you can see the get context, the namespace is showing blank. Why it is showing blank? If it either show as a default, and sometime when you start the cluster it will show as a blank. If it is showing the blank, that means you are using the default namespace. Now let's just create a namespace. kubectl create namespace test. How can we can verify that? kubectl get namespaces, the test is there. How we can verify that? kubectl describe namespace test. We did not set anything. In the upcoming video we'll discuss about the resource code and limit range, what exactly they are. Now if you want to switch to, how you can do that, kubectl config set context current and the namespace equal to test. So see, it is a context rancher modified. How you can verify that? You can run the same command, where it went, kubectl config and get context. So you can see you are in a test. What is the another way to find that? Kubectl config view. You can also see the namespace over here. Okay, and now let's just switch back to our default one, kubectl config set context current namespace equal default. Okay, it got changed. Let's just verify that. See, it changes the default. Get context, it changes the default. Now if you want to delete, how I could do it? Kubectl delete, and okay, prior of delete, let's just do one thing. Okay, kubectl run nginx test namespace image equal nginx hyphen namespace hyphen equal to test, because we name is a test. Okay, now let's just verify that kubectl get pods. You cannot see that. If we do hyphen and test, then you can see that pod is there. Okay, if you want to delete that, how you can do that? Delete pod, have the name, it got deleted. Let's just verify that there is nothing is there. How to delete the namespace? Kubectl delete namespace test, that got deleted. How we can verify that? Let's just wait for it to delete. Kubectl get namespace. So yeah, that's all for this quick video. In the upcoming video we'll discuss about the resource quota on limit range, so stay tuned for that, and till the next time, peace.